caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come wandering so fair to be seen. Here we come caroling among the city lights. Here we come caroling from day until the night. Love and joy come to you, and to you your Christmas too. And we'll bless you and wish you a happy new year. And we'll wish you a happy new year.
Greetings and our salutations, and welcome to Imbibe Cinema. The Imbibe Cinema podcast is brought to you by the Blue Whiskey Independent Film Festival, otherwise known He
is 2 drinks in, everybody.
Yes, I am. Otherwise known as BWIF. We are currently accepting submissions for our 2024 festival. We seek independent, character-driven films of all lengths, styles, and genres. To learn more, visit bwiff.com. I'm Festival Operations Director and MC Jonathan C. Leggett, along here with my co-hosts, Executive Director
Michael Notes.
And Cinema Centennial Program Director
Trisha Leggett.
Why does she always sound like
Because we used
she's
to not
afraid
do-
of
No.
her
Of
name?
who she is?
No,
Like,
because we never used to do
I'm
titles.
not here.
We didn't do titles.
In this episode, we're going to be discussing Christmas movies in the plural form, which each of us have pre-selected, screened, and discussed with each other because we really just kind of want to talk about Christmas movies, not a particular movie in general.
This is a philosophical podcast about
It
what
really
makes
is.
a Christmas movie.
Yes.
Bonus episode.
Yay, Christmas bonus! The cocktail we are imbibing is a Trisha Leggett original. We are lovingly calling either the Fizz Bourbon or the Furbin, which
That
is...
sounds wrong.
Like the bourbon.
I like Furbin. I like Furbin.
No,
'cause
it sounds like what are those things? The
Furbies?
No.
No, yeah, but full of bourbon.
But
Bourbon.
More like a fizzy
Ooh,
wig. It's a
can
fizzy
we
wig
drink
bourbon.
a
It can
bourbon
be
out of a Furby? Just out of the Furby head. Just,
Would you like me to tell you what the drink is made of?
sure. What is the drink made out of?
Christmas special cocktail by
The
Trisha.
Furbin.
It is my favorite things. These are a few of my favorite things.
How dare you?
Bourbon, ginger ale, and cranberries with an orange peel slice for decor.
Yes, and if you buy cranberry the way my wife buys cranberry,
Look, there was a shortage. It is 2 days to Christmas.
It is in that canned gelatinous form where it literally makes that noise when it hits the plate.
And when it actually gets out of the can,
when
you're so surprised.
Yeah,
You're like, yay!
yeah, she screamed with joy. But I will state, if you're going to use that, use a KitchenAid and a whisk attachment, because otherwise the first one we made was
Pulpy.
pulpy. It was a gelatinous goo. But this recipe, as well as pictures, are going to be available on our website, imbibecinema.com.
Woohoo!
All right, so we're gonna do a possibly popular or unpopular opinion here. We've discussed previously that we think that there are 4 types of Christmas movies, and we know that one of the selections is considered unpopular of an opinion. But the 4 types of Christmas movies that we see are family struggles, the true meaning of Christmas, Christmas romance, and the last one being takes place during Christmas.
And that's the one that's mostly debated over Die Hard.
Yes.
Right.
But I think that Kiss Kiss Bang Bang is an amazing Christmas movie, and that's just because I love Christmas. Mm-hmm. I mean, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Christmas.
And Christmas.
Right.
But again, I mean, just if it takes place during Christmas, it is considered a Christmas movie.
So
Right.
that's your stance.
That is it's an
Well,
unpopular opinion, but I believe 100% it's a Christmas movie if Christmas is involved.
Right.
Right.
Okay.
And it
yeah.
can be like, and
I would
Die
agree.
Hard is a very strong contender for that.
Okay.
Okay, because not only we've talked about this previously, it hits all those notes. It's yes, it takes place during Christmas.
Yep.
Christmas is involved in the film. It is their family struggles. It's a family that's having marriage issues.
Yep.
And they have kids, and they're trying to like get through that over the holidays. And then in addition to that, there's the meaning of Christmas. No,
Yeah, there's the meaning of Christmas. I
or
subject-
no, it's about the world bigger than yourself. Because the meaning of Christmas kind of movies usually talk about how there's more than just you in this world, that something greater exists, whether it be, Santa Claus or an angel or God or just being a decent human being for humanity in general, like Scrooge.
Yep.
Yeah. So like that kind of like higher than, higher, not higher calling, but like there's more to this world than just yourself.
Yes. Yeah.
And what you do affects other people. And in Die Hard, he saves the Christmas party.
True, though, at least from the struggle of more of those, like Scrooged and all of those, he doesn't necessarily change over the course of the film from being somebody who is only about himself to somebody who is actively, from the get-go, he's pretty much...
But that's the Scrooge formula. You look at It's a Wonderful Life, arguably the same kind of thing, except it's a good guy who gets beat to hell his whole life for being a good guy. And then they come up at the last minute and we're like, but see, you're a good guy, and so good things happen. They just took a really freaking long time to get there.
Nice guys finish last, sometimes if they start at all, but, you just got to...
But if you're a really good person, you won't go to jail.
Correct.
Right.
Even though
somebody will tear
they
up
will
the thing
try
and
to
start
put you
singing.
there.
Yes.
Everybody will become very unrealistically good.
Yes.
No, I do believe in what you put out there will come back to you.
Yeah.
Oh,
which is a very good Christmas-y sentiment.
But like the mob sentiment of goodness, I don't know. Does that happen?
I really do think so. I think that when somebody
mob mentality,
that does
angel mentality.
Well, especially around the holidays. I mean, look, that's where all the donations for all the causes come. Like, this is where they make their money, right? Christmas is a moneymaker, not just for charity, but for everybody who needs to get into the black.
Yep.
Right?
Right? Yeah, sure.
Right? So both consumerism and Catholicism, because I'm just going to go with the C words.
Sure.
They both financially depend on Christmas.
Yep.
Yeah, Christmas keeps the economy afloat.
Yes. So
It's Christmas.
I will state, of the movies that we did select, we did not select any movie that does just take place during Christmas.
Right.
There's always next year.
Yeah, there is always next year for that one. But so the films that were selected, Michael, you selected
The Holiday.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic film, which I again watched just for refresher
refresh,
this morning.
I didn't get to watch it to refresh, and now I really want to see it.
You're going to pay for it. Yeah.
I'm going to see it after this.
Yeah, that's fair.
Perfect.
But that one covers the romance bridge. Trisha, you chose poorly.
Now, I chose It's a
No.
Wonderful Life because it is the standard by which all are measured.
There you go.
That's fair.
And because there's
accurate.
some really angry there are people who really, really don't like that movie. And I look at it now and I'm like, I see why. I mean, different reasons, but I see why.
Yeah, I mean, it does help that she finally tied me down and made me watch it officially last year. I had
2 years
seen,
ago?
was it 2 years ago?
It was a COVID
honestly,
thing.
yeah, years.
So
bleed
100
together at
years
this
ago.
point.
So you got tied down by COVID?
Probably. But then that's very
The physical
accurate. Yes.
manifestation of COVID.
Yes,
In rope form.
I just got his chains from Marley
Mm,
and
Marley.
Marley.
We'll get there, ladies and
yeah,
gentlemen.
yeah,
Muppets Christmas Carol is one of the best. And then I chose the family struggles with what is also possibly very rife film, but The Ref.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's one of those movies that people who don't like a lot of swearing in their Christmas movies
Won't
might,
like.
but
They should really
but-
watch it.
But they should
Yes.
watch it because I think, who was it that saw it? It was a family member who saw it and was like, there was a lot of vulgarity in that movie, but I really enjoyed it. Oh, your
It was
grandma.
my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
wow.
She doesn't like that kind of talk, but she was like, it was a good movie.
Yeah.
They swore a lot.
So, I mean, was there a particular film or anything about the four types of movies that either of you would want to discuss ad nauseum?
I don't know. Like, there's the supernatural kind of thing that seems to happen in Christmas
Oh,
stories,
Mm-hmm.
or they're like really sad. Like, so it's like a lot of tragedy or violence in a Christmas movie in America.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
the growing trend of violence in Christmas movies or in holiday movies, I would say. Like, let's turn this into a slasher film.
Oh, yes.
Or like Santa being a slasher.
Yes. See, whereas I want to see Krampus.
But no, I would say, what's the Christmas movie with oh no, my brain is not working.
If only there was this thing called
No.
IMDb that I
No,
could
no,
immediately...
no. I can see his face. It doesn't help.
He has eyes.
Was he
2
in
ears.
something?
No, he's a bad Santa.
Oh.
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton.
Yep.
Right? So that's violence in
Oh,
a
yeah.
way. Even in Christmas Carol, I mean, it's dark.
Yeah.
It's a ghost story,
Yep.
but it's a Christmas story.
Especially the most recent one of it, if memory serves me correctly, with Guy. Was it Guy Pearce?
I was like Guy Fieri.
He's being haunted by foods that he had previously made. No, it was Guy Pearce was just in.
Was he?
It was FX. It was a show
Oh.
instead of a mini series, if you will. But yeah, Andy Serkis was the ghost of Christmas Past.
Oh, wow.
So,
I am curious.
based on what I had heard about that one, you want to talk about dark? Like apparently the entire thing of that one was dark.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
The guy's about to commit suicide.
Yep.
He's going to kill himself because he's going to go to jail. And then when he's not around, when he gets shown his life without him in it, all these other people are dead.
Yes.
Or have suffered tragedy. Like poor Mary is a librarian, and now she has glasses.
Mm-hmm. And her hair's in like a ponytail or a
Right?
bun.
And,
I mean,
and she never married. That is what happens. Because when George doesn't marry you, it's over.
yeah.
Nobody wanted you.
What was it? When
It's the
when
greatest
they referred
tragedy.
no, you won't like it. It's
Yeah.
the worst thing ever.
Ever. It's
Yeah.
the worst.
She's an old maid.
Yeah, an old maid. That's right.
That was her fate.
Yeah.
Not an abusive relationship.
No.
Not that she somehow died.
She's not.
or-
Yeah,
no.
she's not dead. No,
No.
she's
Like,
just a spinster.
she just couldn't
She
get
has
married.
cats.
And therefore, her life was over.
Yeah,
Hello, 1946.
yeah. But interestingly enough, talking about committing suicide,
Yeah.
that is also in The Holiday.
Oh, it is? Mm-hmm. I don't remember that part.
Yeah.
That's right.
Kate Winslet.
Kate Winslet.
It turns on her gas because she's about to turn on a pot of tea, and then this is after she finds out that the love of her life, the
Jasper.
unrequited love of her life, Jasper is actually getting married.
Right.
And so she's at home, and it's because Cameron Diaz messages her on this home swap app or site that she realizes what she's doing, opens the window, and even says
"What am I doing?"
a new low.
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting that we're talking about Christmas movies, and suicide has now been on two of the three that we have selected, and I'm trying to
Well,
really
no,
remember
I mean,
now.
it's about dark. Christmas movies usually tend to be about dark times.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right? And overcoming it,
And
finding the
finding that
light,
light.
and a new beginning. And technically, Christmas, the fourth Sunday of Advent, is the beginning. Well, Advent is the beginning of the calendar for Christianity, I think. I'm not sure. But it moves. It's fluid. Easter's different every year. I don't understand it.
It's a pagan holiday.
Yeah, it is. That's why they're chasing the pagans.
Yep.
Like, nail it down. Where is it?
Constantly chasing pagans.
That's where all the rabbits come from.
Oh, now Easter makes sense.
Yeah, it's horrible. No, it's good. Oh, okay, whatever you want. Just keep giving me the chocolate.
Why is the crucifix and a chocolate linked? Who knows?
Thanks, Eddie Izzard.
Yeah, the brown of the chocolate and the brown of the cross.
So really quickly, what I was trying to say about Advent, not that I'm like crazy, like old person calendar thing, is the fact that like it's the beginning of a calendar year. That Christmas movies are usually about new beginnings,
Yeah.
about something ending and something starting anew, and usually the death of something and the birth of something else.
Do we want to talk? We wanted to talk about It's a Wonderful Life.
Yes.
As you know, a jumping
and poor
off point.
George, his life is not wonderful. It is not. He has these dreams of going off and doing something that he wants to do, and his
Yeah.
whole life is no, you can't do that.
Yeah, and what makes it even worse is it's like there's at least 2 times in the movie where he's leaving. He's on his way, or because I think he's leaving to go on this trip and then college.
Yep.
And then his father passes away, and then he gets married, and they're about to go on their honeymoon, and then
Bink.
There's a run on the bank.
Yeah. So
Well, and then the war.
And then the
it's-
war,
There
yeah.
are a lot of outside forces, and it's not just like a series of catastrophes that happen to George, and it's just bad timing. A lot of the time, George just makes the right decision and ends up paying for it.
Right.
He sacrifices his funds for his honeymoon
Yeah.
to help keep the town afloat.
Yes.
well, and actually, Mary is really the one that
Right.
that does that. She's
Yeah.
the one that says, "Here we go.
got money."
Let's use
Yeah.
this."
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think actually that's probably the best way for that to have played out, because if he had done that without
Consent.
Yeah.
she was basically saying, "Let's do this. We've got to do the right thing."
Right.
Yes.
And he's
And he
about
jumped
that.
on board right away. of
Right, and
course.
he's about that all the way up too.
Yes.
And it's like that's a nice thing. Like here, you're married to somebody who shares the same values.
It's probably one of the
Supports
things
you.
that she loves about him.
Yes.
Right, because he does do things for other people. Like the whole point was he was just going to run the business until his brother
Yep.
finished college, came back, and then he got to go. They were going to take turns.
Yes.
And everything went sideways.
Right.
He can't hear out of one ear because of not just because of saving Harry, but because his first boss
Yep.
like boxed his ears basically.
Right.
After that had occurred, he suffers for these decisions repeatedly.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, some joy is had, like him and Mary
Happily
happily married. They have
Yep.
kids. But then you have the weight of every parent is, kids. They're energy vampires. We love them, but they do they scare you, and they like when Susan,
yes.
Zuzu is sick. And sick kids, it's exhausting. And not only because it's exhausting, but you worry.
Yeah.
And so there's just all the real things about trying to keep your house from falling down.
Yes.
And all these things that weigh on him, and it's just everything is a burden in his life.
Yeah.
And we're seeing that side of everything. And
Yep.
then when you flip the script, you find out the life that we have is actually pretty damn wonderful if you think about what could have been.
Yes.
Without all the things that, if you weren't here, wouldn't have happened.
Yep.
And
all
that-
of those
yeah.
mistakes he prevented.
And I think this is
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Another reason I brought this film up is it's interesting that this is a movie that was on over and over and over and over
Right.
again. I think for a while the choices were The Bishop's Wife with Cary Grant and David Niven and Loretta Young. I remembered all that off the top of my head. Woo. And I could be wrong. But anyway, it's a really good movie too, by the way. But that those were the two movies for Christmas on television for a very long time. Predominantly this one, and I think anything it was oversaturated, overplayed, and people But Christmas Carol has been around since Dickens. So you have this that's been remade 100 times. Even Miracle on 34th Street been remade a few times. Nobody's remade It's a Wonderful Life. I find that very interesting. Because the message transcends. I think today, if I were to make that movie today, I would make it a mom, and I would think she's got a part-time gig, she's got the kids, she volunteers here, she's in the PTO, she's driving everybody around, she's trying to make sure that her husband is doing well. She's doing 800 things, and she feels like she's failing at all of them. And it's never the thing that really she wanted to do to begin with. And that, to me, is the modern It's a Wonderful Life. It would also be a sad movie. But it's going to be a good movie. Somebody make that movie. Thank you.
Well,
I'm going to drink.
Well, and the argument, too, is, really, It's a Wonderful Life is a sad movie as you're going through it. Yes, there are, ups and downs, like life. And... But what I do think is really interesting too is the structure of the film. The beginning where we go up into the sky and we're seeing the stars, and we're like, okay, this is a little strange. And we meet Clarence, a little white dot that glows when he speaks.
Yep.
And then we come down to Earth, and we hear in the very beginning, Clarence, meet basically George Bailey, and then you forget that this ever happened. And then all of a sudden Clarence shows up 2 hours later.
The midpoint.
Past the midpoint.
And
It's
then,
really, it's like the
Act
beginning of the
3.
third act.
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen the movie since I was a kid. And then I was like, you've never seen It's a Wonderful Life. And I made John see it.
I've
And
never seen it
mind you,
all the way through.
we were emotionally
Because it's
vulnerable.
on TV, you turn
you've
it
gotten
on and
clips,
you're in the middle.
You're at a Christmas party.
Right.
You're at least seeing it in the background.
Oh my
but,
God. And
never,
how many movies is it referenced? Or
exactly. Yeah.
And it's always the same two scenes that you see over and over. But my memory of it also was Clarence. And then you're like, oh yeah, he doesn't show up until way late in the movie.
Way late. Yeah, I mean, really, he's only in a small part of the film.
Yeah.
Well, one thing I was thinking when I was watching it more recently, which I think would be interesting because you're talking about, nobody's remade it.
Mm-hmm.
I think like following a different character. I feel like there would be an interesting story. Like, what if you told It's a Wonderful Life and like Potter was the main character?
Well, that's Scrooge.
Right.
That is, yeah. I was about to actually say, to a degree, where Clarence shows up, you're actually talking the Ghost of Christmas Past or Future is essentially where he shows up, and he's showing not the future as much as he's showing the present if you weren't here. So he's showing what would happen if your past hadn't shown up. So they have to show the Ghost of Christmas Past to show where all the steps happened, and then say, all right, let's just erase you from that.
I wonder if that's where this story originated, is instead of following a bad person, let's follow a good person.
Right.
Yep.
And this is a Frank Capra.
Yeah.
Yep.
The Capra. Oh, I'm drunk.
Capricorn?
And you're only halfway through your first. I'm done with 2.
Capra-esque, which I think is a term coined by Aaron Sorkin.
Sure.
When the American president.
Oh, yeah.
Where
That's
Annette
right.
Bening goes to check in. She's like, I'm just taking in the whole Capra-esque feel. He doesn't know what that is.
No.
Yeah, Frank Capra, American filmmaker. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Is what I call it. Okay, yeah, he does. But that Capra-esque feel, that like life is like there's such a thing as honor and the greater good and this optimistic, child ideal of nobility and humanity is, I think, the Capra feel.
Yeah. One that I have lost in recent years.
Sorry, John.
Well, it's true. I used to think adults ran this world, and I have learned that they do not.
Everyone has their own personal Potter, whether it be a person or a circumstance or something that they feel like they're constantly battling to get past or over with and is constantly holding them back.
Yeah.
It's your arch nemesis, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
That
Whether
thing.
it's a person or it's just something that you continue to butt heads with, something that just keeps standing in the way of
you having a wonderful life.
Mm-hmm. Right. I was really just enjoying your life.
Whatever that noun may be.
Yes. Ooh, that's deep. That's deep shit. Speaking of deep, I think we're going to take a few more minutes to fill my now empty glass and get ready to imbibe more after this.
Hey there, listener. This is Michael with Imbibe Cinema and the Blue Whiskey Independent Film Festival. Did you know that Imbibe Cinema isn't just a podcast? We've also got a variety of articles and reviews available to read on our website, plus a streaming membership that gives you access to a new batch of independent films every month. Become an Imbibe Cinema member today at watch.imbibecinema.com. That's watch.imbibecinema.com. Thanks for supporting and imbibing the various content we offer. Now, back to the show.
I'm starting my third. This is the Furban or the Fizz.
It's Fizzurban.
Fizzurban.
That sounds
like Kyle Urban.
Yeah, or Keith Urban.
Or Fizzywig.
Or is Kyle Urban a person?
I don't know who Kyle is. I don't.
Kyle.
Keith Urban
I think Kyle Urban
his
is somebody that was
brother?
created by the Fizzurban.
No, it's
somebody drank
Kyle.
a Fizzurban on
Kyle.
Christmas and made sweet
there are
passionate love
multiple
and
Kyles.
made Kyle Urban.
No, there are multiple Kyles, and then there's the one that lives in the city.
And that's Kyle Urban.
There we go.
Oh my God.
I'm Jonathan C. Leggett, and I am here along with
Michael Noon.
Trisha Leggett.
and we are discussing what I have lovingly called our Christmas medleys. Yeah, I know.
We have a title.
Christmas medleys. Enjoying this podcast? Please subscribe or follow us on all of your favorite podcast providers to get new episodes as soon as we release them. Rate and or leave us a review to help our show reach that larger audience. You can also follow Imbibe Cinema on Facebook, the Instagram, and now Threads. Ooh. I know. Just don't pull it.
Or actually pull at that thread?
Pull at the thread?
Would that be like go there? Or
maybe?
like don't pull it, like don't go to Threads.
No, that's a good point. You should pull that thread.
I don't.
No, because then it seems like it's unraveling, like this sentence.
if you unravel my sweater, pulls this thread as I walk away. No? Did I just lose you guys with Green Day? Ooh, that is tasty. All right, so the other two films we finished discussing. It's a Wonderful Life. It'll probably pop back up periodically throughout the rest of this. But I think the other two films, The Holiday and The Ref, are just absolutely wonderful modern day. I say modern day, but I think both of them were made in the early aughts.
Hold on,
2006 is The Holiday.
And The Ref,
2006.
I want to say
94.
Okay,
Good
yeah.
gravy.
Now The
Good
Ref,
gravy. It is having a big anniversary.
Yeah,
next
this
year.
is the 30th anniversary. Oh my god!
and The Holiday was made before we met. Or no,
Oh.
about the same time we met. Maybe. No, it came out that year, I think.
Oh, the year
2006, yeah.
The year that we met.
We met. Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
You and I met. No,
Yes.
I knew Michael Breyer.
Well, yes, clearly.
So
We
did
met
you,
in 1984.
Yep.
when you were
Not that
born.
you were aware of it.
I was not.
Yeah, you were clearly not aware of it.
He doesn't remember it much.
Like you do. So I know that at least as it relates to The Ref, that is a huge holiday film for my family. I know it's a huge holiday film for your family.
Yeah. Thanks to Trisha.
Is it
Really?
really?
That was
Yeah,
her
I'm
She's
fault?
the one
pretty
who
sure that
introduced-
was who else would have introduced it to the family.
I guess I do introduce inappropriate things into our family circle. That's
But
my
then
job.
how did
It's what I do.
you come across The Ref in order to introduce it to the family then?
I don't remember.
Okay, so I'm
I'm sure I
reasonably
saw it.
sure that my father got this from a Blockbuster and brought it home, and we watched it once as a family, and then if memory serves me correctly, we ended up watching it like 4 times that Christmas. Wow! Because it meant the rest of the family came over for like Christmas Eve, and we're like, oh, we're re-renting this because you guys now need to see
you have
this.
to see
Like
it, yeah.
everybody had to see it.
I mean, and we had that as well because I know we watched it as a family first, and
Yep.
then Christmas Eve with our aunt and uncle and cousins.
Yeah.
We were like, "You guys have to see this."
Right. No, and like we watched it. It was like a tradition for a while, and
Yeah.
then people started having children. Then we're like, we can't
Yeah, we
watch
can't.
this
Well,
now.
depending on the age of the child, they're not going to understand.
Yeah, but there's a lot of the F word because it is a Dennis Leary film.
Yes.
Dennis dialect
Yes.
is
Leary
heavily
speak.
yes Leary speak, but not in a whole Mary Poppins kind of way.
Yes. That would be a whole different movie now if Leary's doing that.
Sounds like a great SNL sketch.
Yes. Leary speak. You just got Dennis Leary and Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Oh my God, do that! Somebody get on that.
I'm gonna write
Oh my
SNL
God,
right
that
now.
shit
That
is
like we
amazing.
should be doing that right now.
Yeah. So anyway, it's one of the movies that our family quotes a lot.
To this day.
Because they're
Yeah.
great moments. Like Glynis John's character is the grandma.
Oh,
Also
yeah.
in Mary Poppins. Oh, weird.
Oh wow, we just tied that back together.
She is a terrible person, basically.
Yes.
And there's a point where Dennis Leary's like, "Your husband ain't dead, lady. He's hiding."
Yep.
We've used that a lot.
Well, and the best part too, I think, about some of the quotes in that is that they lend themselves to actual responses to actual things that happen at the
Oh, yeah.
holidays.
Stop annoying me. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or a common question would be, "Hey, when are we going to open presents?"
Yes.
Let's open them in the morning. It'll be more festive.
Poor John just keeps asking it. Yep.
Like common questions, or and this isn't exclusive to the holidays. This is basically whenever any gift is given and there's a card.
Oh yes. Gary and Mary and Connie
and John. We've actually added that to the end when we have a
Oh, yeah.
group gift.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we have to list everybody's name. We just add those people
Add
to the
all
end.
of
Yep.
But yeah, it's about family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's a
dysfunctional,
dysfunctional family over the
son,
holidays.
Yeah, the son is off at a boarding school, and not only
There's a
is he
military-
at a military boarding school, but he is pretty much running the
Because he's
military.
blackmailing J.K. Simmons.
Yes, I love that. I love J.K. Simmons for many reasons.
Yes.
But you've got a child who does not feel loved at home. You've got a mother and father who are constantly bickering because they just cannot seem to see eye to eye. They cannot seem to see what the other is getting at.
They're in therapy.
Yep.
And I think this is a theme for a lot of family-oriented holiday movies where
Yes.
there's trouble with family. Is as frustrating as they are, family in the end has got your back.
Yeah.
Yep.
There's
And-
love.
And yeah, we might not understand each other. We might be at odds, but we are family, and it's Christmas.
And let's be honest, Dennis Leary's character is posing to the rest of the family. He's a cat burglar who ends up using their house to escape the law. But then the rest of the family arrives because it's Christmas, and the family is there. He poses as their therapist, and what is interesting is that in posing as their therapist
He's
and
really good
being this
therapist.
outside source for them to both dump information, and they confide in him in a way that they are both reluctant to do to their actual therapist. No, the Ref is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
Whether you are trying to boycott Kevin Spacey or not, I highly recommend. If you have not seen
God.
it will become a family favorite of all of yours.
Yes, it's a great ensemble movie.
Yes.
Everybody in every character. I mean,
Brings
even
it.
doesn't even matter how small the character is, and that's one of the things I think that makes it so great. It's every character has got something to bring to the story, and does so really, really well, and they're all memorable, I feel.
Yeah, and everybody, like, you can relate. There's a heightened bit that relates to something that you've experienced, either with your family or just with the holiday in general, and it's just heightened to an extreme that it's just really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they watch It's a Wonderful Life in the movie. They're trying to watch. It's a Wonderful Life actually plays a very big part in it,
Yes, thankfully,
thankfully.
because otherwise he'd go away for a
Right.
very long time.
So really, It's a Wonderful Life saves him. And like It's a Wonderful Life as well. I know I mentioned this before. Where the whole town comes together
Yep.
to save George Bailey. The whole town comes together to save...
Dennis Leary.
Dennis
Yeah,
Leary.
what is this character's name? Gus.
Gus. Oh, yeah.
Gussie.
Yeah, Gussie.
Gussie. Oh, my God. No, my mom even once at a party was like, excuse me, but the corpse still has the floor.
I think they said that at your 30th birthday,
Yes, they did. And that was my mom.
where Trisha said goodbye to her 20s in the
Yes,
only
it
way
was
Trisha would, which is
A funeral.
a funeral.
I had a
For her
death in my
20s.
20s. And then I got to will stuff out, which was great. I got
Yes.
rid of some stuff.
Yeah, there were a lot of speakers that spoke to some eulogies. It was
I got
It was
something.
dark.
I bequeathed stuff. Yeah, it was good.
Yes.
But everybody looks good in black, and we got to
Right.
drink. And hell, people crashed that party.
Yeah, everybody had fun. Everybody
Yeah,
had
it's
fun.
a good party.
Yeah, it was good. It's a good theme.
Morbidity is my wife's love language.
Yes. So, the holiday?
Yeah.
Oh yes. So what? One of the reasons why I love the holiday.
Other than the fact that you seem to love all Christmas romance.
Yes.
Your
and I
top
think-
three that you discussed for this year are
What
all
would
romance.
What would be your favorite romance?
For Christmas romance?
Yeah.
Let me get back to you on that one. I don't know.
He's gonna have to.
Is it a fair
I mean,
number? Is it
again,
Sleepless
like,
in Seattle? Is it
n-
While You Were Sleeping? There's a lot
maybe,
of sleeping.
maybe, you know
in
what?
these
While You Were
movies.
Sleeping.
Every Hallmark movie
While
ever.
You Were Sleeping would probably be my Christmas romance movie.
Also very quotable with Glynis Johns.
Oh yeah, she's just brilliant. Is what she
fantastic.
is.
We're talking about
The holiday. The holiday.
Yeah, and,
So great movie.
Yeah, Michael liking romance and why he likes this one specifically so much.
I don't think I knew that it was a Nancy Meyers movie, and I just was like, okay, this is holiday movie, and like most movies, I feel that have like a profound effect on you. You go into it and you see it, and you don't expect that.
Right.
And this was just a movie I just got completely lost in. I got completely lost in the characters, and I found it very, very different too. Just in at least at the time of the storytelling that I was constantly seeing, like the same like formula, and it kind of threw me a little bit. And then of course, as I'm watching the credits, I see that it's a Nancy Meyers movie. I was like, all right. So I was very, very excited because I love Nancy Meyers movies.
I do find it interesting when you talk about how like the typical format in these type of films. I do think it's interesting. You're watching two stories, but you don't get the hopping back and forth as much as you tell one, and then you kind of tell the other, and then you go back. I mean, there is hopping back and forth.
Absolutely, but they're intertwined, and a lot of that is because, like on multiple levels, they do check in with one another. I mean, they're never really on screen together until the very, very end of the film. Iris, played by Kate Winslet.
Yeah.
Her brother, Jude Law, Jude Law plays the character, but Graham ends up falling for Cameron Diaz's character, Amanda. Amanda and Iris are on the phone, and then
I can't believe you slept with her.
Yeah, Graham calls.
Yep, this is still Amanda.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Trying to switch back and forth.
Can you hold on 1 second? I told her there were no men in this town, and then you go and like, nope, still Amanda. Oh God. Yeah. No, that scene is absolutely beautiful. I loved everything about. I mean, Kate Winslet is an absolute. She's somebody I would watch eat a bowl of cereal. I mean, she's fascinating. The one that gets me in the relationship between Cameron Diaz or Amanda and Jude Law Graham is specifically when she keeps picking up his phone and seeing girls' names or women's names on the phone.
Right.
And just the scene that I was reminding Trisha of when before we started, when she decides to surprise him at his place, and he comes to the door slightly disheveled, and shows that he is reluctant to let her into the house, and immediately you're like, oh God,
we do set the stage with the fact that he does say he doesn't. I'm
in a weird place. This is not a relationship that's going to last more than the 2 weeks.
I don't do second dates.
Yep.
And then you also have her. She's come out of a relationship where she was cheated on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that colors her perception of men in general.
And also came from a broken household.
Right.
So there's a whole monologue that she has at one point where she starts to say, all right, let's imagine that we start having this relationship that spans the distance. I go back to LA and you stay here in London. What's to say that maybe we meet in London, or maybe we meet in New York, or maybe we try this out, and over the next 6 months this happens, and then we start fighting because we never see each other. And like, she's literally playing out a horrible relationship in her head, because that's
how it goes.
She plays it out in her head so much.
Self-fulfilling
prophecy. But so she arrives at his place, and he's disheveled, and then all of a sudden, Sophia and Olivia come to the door, and it is his daughters. The whole film leads you on this,
and does a very good job at it too,
letting you think he's a womanizer. He is, he
shows up drunk at his sister's place to crash he's
all the time.
Yeah,
and because it's the only time he's away from his kids, and they're with the grandparents.
Oh my God, it's so sad.
And so, like, it is beautiful that Nancy Meyers leads you down this path, making you think one way, and then just like sweeping you out from the feet and going like, look, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't go down that path. This is a wholesome individual who is grieving and
sorry. So like the touch of humanity that you see in on the other side of the pond is the fact that you have a family that has had a loss. But then you go to LA, and that would be all Arthur's character, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
This man who has lived a full life and is just this adorable human being.
Yep.
And he's all alone.
Eli Wallach.
Yes.
Just
he's missing his wife and does get the acknowledgement that he doesn't feel he deserves, because he thinks he's going to go into a room with 13 people.
Right. And it will be embarrassing, and he's just like ever so humble.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Very, very beautiful.
Like nobody remembers him is how he feels.
Right. Right. And the whole conversation about meet cute, I mean, is just so cute. I mean, this is our meet cute. And you're like, wait, what?
Yep.
So he explains
I think that was the
term,
first time.
The term.
Yeah. And then there's the point where, shortly thereafter, where he says, where in England are you from? And she says, Surrey. And he goes, oh, Cary Grant's from Surrey. She's like, oh, yeah, he was. How'd you know that? Oh, he told me once. And you're like, what?
Yeah. And the continuing element of the Santa Ana winds all throughout
That's a thing.
L.A.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
The fact that Jack Black specifically is the one who calls out the Santa Ana winds, and it is the Santa Ana winds that continue to, I don't want to say plague them, but like show up whenever they should be, they've had their meet cute. Their meet cute is the Santa Ana winds, and it keeps recurring. And I'm trying to think what that same element is other than the drive to the cottage. And the fact that Cameron Diaz has to walk it one time, runs it a second time, just to get to Jude.
Well, I know there's the
Watch this
constant
again.
thing, the thing where she can't cry. She can't.
That's right.
She's not. There are
Ever
these
since her
moments
father
where,
left.
Yeah, there are these moments where like all she wants to do is cry, and she just can't bring herself to do it, and then it just like sneaks up on her at the end. It just happens, and then it's like clearly this is really important.
Yes.
There's so many moments in this movie by Nancy Meyers where I feel she shows instead of tells.
Which is, again, what makes this such a profound film.
We greatly appreciate all of our listeners for choosing this podcast and for supporting independent film. So please keep an ear out for our next season, season 3 of the Imbibe Cinema podcast. Take it away, John.
To check out show notes or to drop us a note, please visit imbibecinema.com. I'm Jonathan C. Leggett. Thank you for imbibing with us. Cheers.